Hey, episode 3 of whatever we're calling this mode. So to recap, I am an Iron Man with a restriction. In order to advance through the game, I have to interact with every single entity in an area exactly once. That means every tree needs to be chopped, and every unique enemy needs to be slain. Each time I interact with something, it becomes exhausted. For now, I'm using a red outline to indicate things that are exhausted. When something is exhausted, I'm not allowed to touch it again. Once I've exhausted everything in an area, I can move to a new area, and similar to the bonfire mechanic in Soulsborne games, when I pass through the fog, so to speak, into a new area, I rest at the checkpoint, and every exhausted tree, rock, and enemy in earlier areas becomes unexhausted. Now I need to clear everything in both the new area and the old area to open the next fog wall. Is this going to work as a game mode? I don't know. What's my objective? The quest cape, I guess. Let's check it out. All right, we're here on top of the Lumbridge Castle, and we can see the new unlocked chunk in the distance. I click here. That is what is now available. I'm going to head over to the entrance, and I like this idea of always actually lighting a fire at the entrance to the chunk. All right, so again, imagine there's a cool fog wall here, and as we walk through, actually I'll walk in while it's dark, because I think that's kind of how it works, right? Walk through into the tab, then we'll unlock the chunk. Here we are, and now let's rest at a bonfire to respawn everything in the previous chunks. I can actually light a log. This is why I need to level fire making instead of fletching, so that this embarrassing thing doesn't happen. Hey, fire making level 4. We're in a new chunk, and I don't have a way to sit at the bonfire, so we're just gonna spin. Pretend like that means that I'm sitting. So I don't know what to expect from this place. There's a lot of frogs. They're actually not terribly high level. I was able to kill one that snuck into my previous chunk before. I don't think they have any particularly interesting drops. We've got some big rats. We have the Lumbridge Swamp cave, which I think there's only one enemy in there that I can kill, and it's cave goblins until I get access to Slayer. I do get some leather gloves spawn over here. That's neat. And I guess I can pick up each of these swamp tars exactly once. Hey folks, this is the last time you'll hear from me, future Marstead, talking about the tasks in the chunk, because this is the episode where towards the end I set up this plugin and start to use it going forward, so you'll only hear me in the moment talking about this. So these are the tasks in Lumbridge Swamp West. I am not including the Lumbridge Swamp cave here because I don't have a light source to get down there, and almost all of it's off limits anyway because it mostly requires Slayer. So the stuff that's in the chunk proper, we have to slay a whole lot of frogs. 28 frogs might not sound like a lot, but they have like 8 hit points, and they're pretty high level. You'd be surprised. So anyway, we have to kill 14 big frogs, 28 regular frogs, 5 giant frogs, and 9 giant rats. Chop some trees, not too many, only 16 in this case. We can't mine coal, mithril, or adamant, but it is there technically. The 18 spawns, there's a pair of leather gloves in the shack, which would be an upgrade because I haven't had leather gloves before, as well as 17 swamp tar pickups, and I'm probably going to end up picking up those 17 swamp tars every single time I come to this chunk, even though item spawns are optional, because they'll be helpful really far down. And then there's the water altar, which I obviously can't get into until I unlock Runecraft and get some Runecraft XP. I think we'll be done here relatively quickly and then back to the previous 2 chunks. And I think my objective right now is to try to do the ham guards last, to get as much combat XP as I can out of this chunk and of the Lumbridge chunk before going in there. Technically the water altar is here too, but I don't have Runecraft unlocked, and even if I did, I wouldn't be able to go in there. Let's start with just murdering some rats, shall we? I'm working my way through it, killing these rats. Let me go ahead and grab these leather gloves real quick. Fill out another slot. Very minor upgrade, but it's better than nothing, which is what I currently have. Gotta go bank in a second. I did pick up all of the swamp tar. I think there's a total of 17 here. Pretty sure I got all of it now. Oh, so I was researching the contents of that cave, and there's a level 99 giant frog, which if I kill it, it's probably going to be after hitting it constantly and respawning over and over and over, but it has a 1 in 64 chance of dropping a mithril spear, which would be an amazing upgrade for me. How much health does it have? It has 100 health. Yeah, if I can't even beat a level 18 ham guardsman, I probably have no chance against a level 99 frog, but man, it would be cool if I could find some way to cheese it. Well, a baby frog killed me. I'm very fragile. It'll be nice if I'm able to buy a better weapon at some point, because the spear is okay, but thinking about maybe switching back to the iron dagger, even though it's a little bit less good, just so I can directly train strength. Although I suppose I'm still missing pretty often, even at attack 16, and I'm still getting hit a lot at defense 12, so it's not the end of the world that I'm having to do this on shared attack style, but it would be nice to have a higher max hit and have a higher max hit much sooner than I currently have it. I can hit 3s with the steel axe. It's a lot slower though, so I don't know if it's actually worth it. I'll keep using it for a bit just to see if I can get my strength up to 15. Hey, I hit 14 strength and now I can hit 3s with the spear, so I think that was worth doing. Very exciting stuff. There's a 3, look at that. Beautiful. It makes sense, but it always blows my mind how much of a massive upgrade increasing your max hit by 1 is at these low levels. Like, just having another thing you can roll that's not 0, in addition to rolling a higher amount of damage per hit, right? Quizmaster. Sure, let's go. Okay, so this is actually hard. I feel like you always have to take the mystery box, but I really need 1,000 coins. Really badly. Like, I could use that to go buy a weapon upgrade right now. I could get that steel battle axe. I think I need the 1,000 coins. I think this is a clutch random event here. I don't think I'll take that ever again. I'll always take the mystery box in the future, but I'm gonna go get my fancy new axe. Let's just teleport, I guess. Now I'm actually tempted to save up for the mithril battle axe. I think I can equip that at level 20 attack. It's 1690 coins, so it's feasible. It could happen. I don't want to spend all my money on the steel battle axe. If I choose to do that, I think I might want to move away from... I mean, obviously I need to clear my new chunk, but part of the fun of RuneScape is trying to optimize, right? And in this case, I think the interesting optimization choice is, do I go kill my 57 goblins and hope I get enough cash drops? How much money have I gotten to date from goblins? 309 GP, that's not promising. I can see if there's stuff I can sell, maybe. Okay, I gathered a bunch of items from my inventory. I'm going to try to sell as many of as I can so I can try to squeeze out this... I guess I still have to get my attack to 20 before I can use a mithril battle axe, but I could try switching my weapon up and specifically focusing on attack just to make that happen. Okay, I ended up getting up to 1448. So we're getting close. I'm going to switch to my steel axe and use it on attack to try to get attack to 20 ASAP. I'm going to start working on goblins over here since they actually drop money. Man, apparently the mystery box has a 1 in 15 chance to have a mithril scimitar in it. I still think I made the right choice, because more likely than not I would have gotten a cabbage. And then I would have felt really bad leaving 1,000 coins on the table when it's so hard for me to get coins right now, but still it stings a little bit. Gotta say. I need another 150 coins, I think, to afford the Myth Battle Axe. 1690, so about 200 coins. Beginner clue drop. Reldo, nope. I really want to hit this cash of value, so I'm going to sell... I don't want to sell my extra bronze square shield. I'm not going to end up wearing the bronze med helm, and I don't need it for any clues. I have this plugin. I'm not turning this one off because it's super useful. It puts a little marker next to items if they're used in clues, so I'm trying to conserve anything that's used in important clues here. Squeeze out a little bit of money here. I can't pick up another iron dagger today, so I guess I'll go sell one, and I'll pick the other one up that's out there. I might try the iron dagger to see if I still get a max hit of 3 with it, because the extra attack speed would be really nice. So it looks like, in fact, I am able to get max hit of 3 with this dagger, at least while I'm on strength. So I'm going to use the dagger instead of the axe for now, just for the extra attack speed, at least while I'm killing things that have a low defense, like goblins and low-level humans. Yeah, I still haven't sold these things. I just noticed there was an extra woman in this house that I was able to finish off. All right, so I was able to get that. I'm going to go ahead and keep my dagger on strength until I get to 15 strength, just in case that's a necessary breakpoint for hitting 3s. And then I will switch to attack to finish getting to attack 20 for the Myth Battle Axe. Almost have enough money from selling things and killing goblins to afford the Mithril Battle Axe, but I have to get my attack to 20, so I'm going to continue using the Steel Axe on accurate. I think the Mithril Battle Axe is going to be really bad. Like, speed of 6 is pretty terrible, but I guess the fact that it's Mithril and it's a higher level than everything else I'm using, if it gets me an extra max hit, that might actually be enough to make a difference, so Yes, as soon as I unlock Al-Kharid, if I can get the Scimitar shop, that's going to change everything for me, but that chunk with the Scimitar shop is technically 2 over. Yeah, so I'd have to roll this one and then this one. And I'm going to have the same cash problem over there that I'm having here. I don't really have an easy way to produce cash yet, so I guess we'll see what's going to happen. I don't know. The nice thing is there should be enough goblins for me to get this cash stack high enough to buy the Mithril Battle Axe, so that should still happen regardless. You know, something I kind of like about this game mode as opposed to a like Extreme One Chunk. Extreme One Chunk is like the definition of an upside down difficulty curve. You start by doing the most miserable thing and killing 500,000 men in Lumbridge or whatever, right? And then theoretically, it should get easier and easier as you progress. Not so true if you roll the Calphite Queen chunk, but on average, like the grinds you're going to have to do in the future are going to be made much easier by all the stuff you collected. Like the fact that Lumbridge got tens of thousands of herbs from that 500,000 man grind is going to make the herb lore grind pretty trivial once he finally unlocks that chunk. This one is kind of a smooth increase in that every time you unlock a new chunk, you have to do everything in the past chunks again. So it's like, I guess the experience of doing the first chunk is going to get easier when I'm always doing 5 damage and one-shotting all these goblins, or when I come back here with a cannon or whatever, this chunk's going to fly by. But it starts out pretty reasonable since I only have to do everything in each chunk once. And then anytime I'm redoing stuff in that chunk, it gets faster and faster as I get more run energy and more options and more ways to deal with things. And so it feels like you kind of have this nice stable slope. And so far I'm really enjoying like just killing all the goblins once. You know, it feels better to me than having to grind a single goblin or a single set of goblins for hours and hours and hours. Just hit 1698 GP from selling stuff to the general store. That is enough. It's really exciting. I've never had a situation where like a quiz random, I'm pretty pumped about that actually mattering. I'm going to go over and buy my Myth Battle Axe. I'm going to go store stuff, and then we're going to continue killing stuff here in Lumbridge to try to get to 20 attack. Oh, this is interesting. This man I just killed dropped a copper ore. I don't know how common that is. I should look at the man drop table. I used to have a plugin that showed me drop tables. Let me see if I can find it. So I can show you on the video, you know, without having to pull up the wiki. All right, well, in the meantime, here's the moment of truth. Mithril Battle Axe. Let's go ahead and buy it. We are now broke, but I have this item, which is plus 20 melee strength, which I think is enough to get me at least 1, if not 2 max hits. I think 2 max hits are probably necessary for me to consider it better than something with a 4 speed, right? I guess the accuracy bonuses are fairly significant as well. So I'm going to go bank stuff, and I'm still looking for that plugin I mentioned. All right, I found that loot table plugin. I'm going to go ahead and use it. It's nice. Anything I think that's in the sidebar is probably fine to use without being like really intrusive in terms of the UI. Bronze med helm, iron daggers, a pretty rare drop, although I can pick one up across the river once per cycle. Some interesting runes. Earth talisman I got the one time was pretty cool. Obviously, we're not going to get any of the stuff that's in the wilderness. Yeah, that's a cool plugin. I also found this cool task plugin. I have to make my own tasks, but I'm already doing that. And this might make it really easy for me to show you visually what all I have and haven't accomplished. I'll work on it while I'm killing things here. I need to actually have shears to do that. Yeah, but I put like slay all goblins, slay all rats, slay the imp. There's only 1 imp in this tile. Pickpocket all men, slay all men, pickpocket all women, slay all women, etc. Cut all the trees. So I'll make those and then I can show you. And interestingly, if I don't have these marked as completed, when we look at the chunk map, it'll put a little box around the chunk showing that it's not done. So I should be able to confirm to you that I've cleared all those tasks every time we do a cycle, which seems pretty exciting. So I screwed this up in previous runs. I didn't even realize I could attack these ducks. I guess I can when they're next to the water. Apparently ducks, I had no idea that ducks were attackable. That's kind of amusing. I don't know if they drop anything. I don't have very much XP. I found this from the chunk site. Looks like they drop nothing. Question mark. Yeah, they don't even show up in the drop list. Okay, yeah, I guess they just are a source of XP like the rats and the spiders. I'm not going to worry too much about the fact that I missed those before. I'll try to clear them now if I can. Yeah, this is hard. There's like 11 ducks in this river and I can't reach most of them. I'm going to try to take them out if I can. I guess I'll add them. This is my tracker list. I'm using a skull emoji to mean slay. I'm going to try to come up with an emoji for each kind of task I have to do, so it's easier to keep track of. I don't know what all Runelight accepts, though. And I'll see if I can get all these ducks to die. Who knew you could fight the ducks in the river? I was hoping that I can range these, although I haven't touched range training at all yet, so that might be a bit of a problem in and of itself. Hey, I missed the level killing these spiders down here, but I got 20 attacks, so it's Mithril Battle Axe time. All right. You can see I'm working on my task list over here as I'm just kind of walking around. Anything that's green, I've completed. Anything that's red, I haven't. Shearing sheep, I'm going to throw on here. The counts I'm putting are directly from the chunk tracker page, which actually gives you the spawns. But remember, the spawns aren't necessarily the same thing as what's able to wander into that chunk. Although I might be able to use the spawns as a guide, right? Since there's a little bit of ambiguity about whether I've already killed things in one chunk or the next. If I just use the spawn count and make that my target, that removes a lot of the ambiguity. So if I say kill 53 goblins, right? I don't have to worry about whether those 53 goblins are coming from one side or the other as long as I get them in a cycle. So I'm going to start including those numbers as I walk around here. I think now that I have my Mithril Battle Axe, that's the whole reason I came back to the Lumbridge chunk. I want to go finish up the chunk that I just unlocked. So I'm working on killing giant frogs in my new chunk. Just died, so I'm running back. I have an opportunity to talk while I'm running. You can see I've got my Lumbridge chunk taken care of here. This looks quite nice. This is everything I got to do, and it really kind of hammers in how much there is to do at Lumbridge. Added some things that I can't do yet, like the 2 willows on the 1U log. And I guess anything that unlocks from this point forward, like if I get into that cow pen from the other side, I'll add the cows to the bottom. I'm using a skull to mean slay, trees to mean chop, gift to mean item spawns. I'm going to try to pick up all the item spawns once per time, and sheep is for shearing. I have to say the Mithril Battle Axe is, I don't know if it's better. It might be once we get our natural strength higher. I've seen it hit for a 4 a couple times, so it's only +1 max hit, but I think it's part of the way that equipment strength works is based on your actual true strength, so if we see it hit a 5, that would be really nice. It being slower is extremely noticeable, though, and that's kind of unfortunate. I killed a giant frog. I didn't realize it dropped big bones. That's kind of cool. There's a couple of giant frogs here. They're actually not that high of a level compared to the one in the cave that I'm a little worried about. But still, that's pretty neat. Yeah, this is a little unlucky. I've gotten this strange plant random event twice now. Probably one of the less interesting ones. That's okay. I'm already starting to see that a lot of the enemies that I'm expecting to kill here are on this chunk border because it's so wide. So a lot of the frogs from over here can cross over to it. I think it's just going to mean that I need to do these counts as a minimum, and I think when I reset next time, I'm going to try really hard to do only the ones that actually spawn. So for example, there's only supposed to be 5 giant frog spawns in this chunk, and a handful of them walk over into this chunk, as we're seeing over here. I've currently killed 5 giant frogs already, and there's one clearly in this chunk that I haven't killed. So I'd rather get as many reds as possible because I think it looks nice. I will do my best to clear everything I see, but these are going to kind of be my minimum targets is how I'm putting it here. Just hit 20 hit points. Wish I would have picked up this tracker plugin earlier. It's making my life way easier. And then I'm going to use this lock icon to mean that there's more in this chunk, but I can't do it yet due to, for example, I can't really go in the swamp cave because I don't have a light source, and I don't think I'd be willing to pay 1,000 gold for a candle. And there's not anything I can do down there anyway. There's a couple cave goblins and then the level 99 giant frog that I have no chance of being able to kill, so. Hey folks, here with another tedious Marstead ramble. If you would like to skip this, I'll put a time code in the description. The Lumbridge Swamp cave is why I'm bringing this up. But what we're talking about today is the general philosophy of Bonfire Man, and I'll be sprinkling some of these into some of the future episodes when they become relevant. So a piece of philosophy here kind of deals with the fact that this mode has a finite amount of resources that I can obtain. There is a theoretical maximum amount of ore I can get, even if I get lucky on every single enemy kill, theoretical amount of XP drops that I can obtain, and importantly here, a theoretical maximum amount of gold that I can get my hands on. In typical restricted Iron Man game modes, if you really need something really bad, you can technically farm for it because all of your resources regenerate eventually. But here, there is a theoretical maximum of what we can get. And while in the case of the Lumbridge Swamp Cave, I could technically sell everything in my bank to go buy a candle to get into the content as quickly as possible, I'm paying a pretty hefty opportunity cost to do that because then I don't have the stuff that I sold or the money that I would be spending on unlocking the content. So if we're thinking about the integrity of this playthrough and of the rule set, it's important to remember that if I choose not to attempt some content, like I chose not to death warp repeatedly against the ham guards in episode 2, and here I'm going to choose not to sell my whole bank to buy a candle for 1000 GP to go into the Lumbridge Swamp Caves. When I choose not to do that, it's not for free. I am paying something in the fact that I'm sacrificing all of the XP and resources that are in the content that I'm skipping. So I missed out on all the drops from the level 18 and 22 ham guards in episode 2. Here I'm going to miss out on everything that's in the Lumbridge Swamp Cave. Now, in this case, I can barely access the Lumbridge Swamp Cave, but I could, for example, repeatedly fail the stepping stones, the agility shortcuts down there for a piddling amount of agility XP. And in retrospect, several episodes in, now I kind of wish I would have done that. But once I choose not to exhaust something, when I say, you know what, I don't want to pay the opportunity cost for that, it's gone. I can't get it back. I've lost something in the process. So because skipping things isn't free, it's not that I just get to say, I don't feel like doing that. That feels like an annoying grind, so I'm not going to do it. And because my resources are literally limited, where I couldn't just go grind for money necessarily. So I think from your point of view, you should expect that if I choose not to do content, that I will summarize why I didn't do the content and what I'm paying in the form of opportunity cost for not doing it. I think it'll happen rarely. I'm going to make every possible effort to do content if it's possible. I think there's some content where really like squeezing blood from the stone is worth it, like getting a single boss kill. If I unlock the Calphite Queen chunk, it would be amazing to try to squeeze out a single kill against the Calphite Queen. Less amazing or less worth the time investment, I think, to squeeze out 5 level 22 Hamguard kills when the next cycle I'll be able to do it trivially. You know what I mean? So just to summarize, if I'm ever faced with a choice to spend a limited resource to unlock content, Bonfire Man does not require that I immediately unlock that content or unlock it as soon as possible, even if doing so requires like liquidating my bank. I can choose to put it off indefinitely, but as I put it off, I'm sacrificing the resources that are available in it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Let's get back to the playthrough. We'll just count that as locked for now. I think that's completely reasonable. Just hit strength 20. Very, very good stuff. I don't think that affects my max hit. I will turn this on. Oh, I got +1 max hit from that. Yeah, that's very exciting. This is a useful plugin, by the way. I'll try to not have it turned on all the time. I'll turn it on when I need it. That was my last big frog. So we're all done now with this chunk. Just confirming I've killed over 5 giant frogs. I've killed exactly 14 big frogs. I've killed, I think, exactly 28 regular frogs. Yeah. I've killed extra giant rats. I think those were just spillover from a nearby chunk. But I've killed enough, and I went ahead and chopped the 2 regular trees all the way over here, a little bit off screen here, and all the dead trees, as you can see. And I picked up all the items. So for as much as I can do in Chunk 3 right now, Lumbridge Swamp West, I am done. I can't really go down in the hole just yet until I can get a light source, and I can't mine any of the rocks up there. So this chunk is complete. I'll go ahead and mark it formally there. And you can see that there's no red square around it when I look on the map. I still don't think I'm going to be able to kill all of the ham guards downstairs. I'm going to try to do the low-level ones. I might be able to knock out all the 18s now with my Mithril Battle Axe and increased max hit. So I got a beginner clue nest west of Varrock. Nope, that's not happening. I have to rebuild this list. I screwed it up a second ago. It really doesn't like the emojis when I try to import it or export it. I might just need to drop the emojis because it's a lot easier for me to modify this in the JSON file than to include it. But it's so clear. Like I can clearly see what all those mean. I guess I can just use like a all caps word like slay. Yeah, I'll just do that so that I can edit it in JSON. That's going to make my life way easier. All right, I updated it to replace all the emojis with just large all caps text. I think it's harder to read. I think the emojis are easy to scan, but at least now I can update this directly in a file instead of having to painstakingly reorder it. Like, there's no reordering tool here, so if I want to change the order, I have to delete the whole thing and start over. Or I can just, reorder it in JSON and import it as long as I'm not using emojis. Working through Ham Hideout now, chopping all 112 and change trees. Another beginner clue nest. I'm going to try to start recording when these are on the ground rather than after I've already picked them up. It's got to build the habit.
Reldo, nope. Man, I am getting tons of these clue nests. What do we got this time? Alcreed Skirt Shop. That's close, but not quite. Here's level 10 fletching, and a second ago I got 25 wood cutting, so we're getting there. I think 10 fletching gives me longbows. I'm going to keep making arrow shafts right now just because it means I don't have to bank and I'm still earning a small amount of fletching XP, but at some point I'm going to have to stop doing that and either saving all my logs for planks or for burning them or something. It's just this particular chunk with its 112 trees is particularly brutal if I wanted to bank. All right, so now the misery of banking these logs every time begins. It's my terrible run energy. I'm going to go ahead and mark the item spawns done. I ended up picking both the air rune, and I think there's a pot over by the adventurers that I grabbed. And I'm still working on chopping trees, so nothing else is done here. I might grab my rake to rake the tree patch. That's all I can do for it right now. Chill raking content. I know, I'm ripping off Furf. This doesn't take a while, but once this tree patch is done, I'll be done with farming in the chunk. Let's go ahead and mark it complete now. One thing I need to already start thinking about that I haven't been is, like, I'm doing all this tree chopping in full armor, and it's probably really screwing my run energy restore. So I haven't been playing this efficiently at all or really thinking about how to do it efficiently. But now that I have this task list on the right, it's starting to kind of coalesce a little bit in my brain, because it's going to matter. Like, we've been playing this for 8.5 hours, and only have 3 chunks unlocked. So yeah, anything I can do to speed this up is probably a good idea. So chunk 2 over here is probably my most miserable chunk in terms of just like the raw quantity of crap I have to do. I have to chop so many trees, but at the same time, this looks amazing. Like, I feel like this is the pitch for this game mode of having to exhaust everything. It looks awesome just seeing everything destroyed. Again, I wish I could hide those trees because it would look so much better if this was just like flat now, but say la vie, what are you gonna do? I think that means I've chopped every single tree up here. So I'm going to go ahead, I guess I'm in a tree cutting mood, so I'm going to go back and chop trees in Lumbridge, finish those off. Then we'll start doing the remaining enemy kills. So I'm going to actually bank my armor, like I said I was going to do a second ago, and then completely forgot last time I banked. I just got a hard clue nest, and sorry folks, I'm not used to this, like, not recording everything all the time thing, so I got to train my brain for coming off of pause recording to show you when level ups happen and show items on the ground before I pick them up. But hard clue nest, I'm gonna throw this out. There's no way. Okay, I think I've chopped all the trees in Lumbridge. I'm gonna do a quick pass just to make sure I didn't miss any, but I'll update those on my task list here. This is a really convenient thing. I'm very happy to have picked this up. It's extremely worth it. I guess I gotta shear some sheep. It's really hard for me to say shear some sheep. I'm going to stumble over that literally every time I say it. All right, this duck slaying task is driving me a little crazy here. I'm going to try it. I mean, maybe I can get some ranged XP in the process. I'm not sure if I utterly sacrifice any arrows I shoot at them by doing this. It's awful, but I'm going to try to get my duck killed. Okay, I ended up running out of arrows, out of training arrows in the process of getting these duck kills, because I can't recover them from the ground when they land in the water like that. So I think ducks are done, but I'm not going to be able to do this every run because I'm not going to have enough arrows. I'll do as many as I can. If I run out of arrows, I run out of arrows. You know, too bad. Would be nothing to do about it in that case, right? Yeah, I guess that's it. Back to, let's shear some sheep here. Yeah, so here's one where the number of sheep it projects that I'm going to be able to shear is like 5 in terms of what actually spawns in this chunk, but so many of them wander over here that I'm probably going to get closer to 10. So I'm just going to kind of treat that as the minimum. Like, I've killed my 1 ram, and very soon I'll have sheared my 5 sheep. Then I'll try to get whatever actually wanders over the edge there. Same thing, I can technically squeeze out 2 rams here if I wait for one of them to cross the border there. So I have done that. That means the Lumbridge chunk is done, because I can't do the cow pen, I can't chop the yew. I can almost chop the willow, but we're not quite going to get it this cycle. We will get it next cycle for sure. We'll be able to do all the willows. So this is looking pretty good. If I look at the map, there's only a red square around the ham hideout. Ham hideout, I have a handful of things to kill, and then we're going to try to do as many ham guards as we can. Fortunately, this mugger doesn't aggro me anymore. It's very nice. Making wood cutting this area very annoying. I did just hit 21 strength. I'm going to try to announce. I think we'll announce levels whenever we get anything past 30. I think that's the way it works in leagues, if I recall. It doesn't give you level up announcements until you get past level 30. But in the meantime, I'll try to do multiples of 5. And bear with me as I kind of get used to the cadence of coming off of pause right before a level up in order to show you the level. It's easier to do with some skills, like, you know, if I ding woodcutting, I can leave the pop-up. But if I'm in combat, it gets dismissed if I'm still fighting the thing, right? So I'll do my best. Okay, amazing. Everything is done. And this chunk looks awesome with all the red everywhere. Everything is done except for ham guards. Now, I am almost level 22 now, and I've got a better weapon. My defense is not much better because I've been training strength the whole time. But I'm going to make a really serious effort to try to kill all of the ham guards, including the level 18s and the 22s. I'm going to keep my same rule from before. If I get in here with full health and one of the ham guards is able to deplete my health before I kill it, then I'll go ahead and say, you know what, we're not going to do it this round, maybe next cycle. But I'm going to do my absolute best because I would really like to kill as many of them as humanly possible. All right, fighting a level 18 now, and it already seems to be going a lot better. Just having more max hits and having higher accuracy seems to be helping. Okay, I got my first kill here. It's cabbage seeds, which that's actually pretty good. I'm kind of excited about that. Not gonna lie. There's another level 18. This one dropped tomato seeds, so just getting tons of seeds here. I still need to worry about, I'm very concerned about trying to kill one and then keeping track of the one that I had down on health, right, if I have to leave. Maybe I'll stick to the 12s for now until I can get some health back. But these are actually kind of AFK, I guess. I'm going to have to really be careful with my combat because this is my only source of pseudo AFK in this game mode. I didn't really consider it, but just inherently that this is way more attentive than any other kind of play style, you know? Because I can't like sit in an oak tree and step up and get a soda. My main sources of AFK right now are when I have to walk all the way across the map. I just click the tile over there and then get up and grab a drink. And I guess combat now, if I can trust that I'm not going to die. So hopefully that will make editing, it's going to make editing tricky, but I'll try to prioritize editing while I'm fighting things, because I think that's the time that I can most look away from the game. I don't think I realized that the ham guards could drop ham armor pieces. I just got ham gloves. Go ahead and wear those just because fashionscape, right? Let me look at their loot table, actually. Now I'm curious. Look up drops. They can actually drop the entire ham set at a horrible drop rate. 1 in 110 for the cloak and the hood. That might actually matter a lot, actually, because you need those for quests, and I'm very limited in the number of pickpockets I can get. I know there's a lot of members to pickpocket in here, but I'm not going to get a high enough thieving to be able to start pickpocketing them for, it might be like 10 cycles. I might roll so many chunks before I get enough thieving XP, because I barely get any, right? I get to pickpocket like 11 men and 5 women every cycle right now for absolutely middling thieving XP, and I'm getting almost as much thieving XP from trying to picklock the trapdoor to get down here. So yeah, anyway, the fact that I get to kill these guys and have another chance at getting the ham set is actually extremely good, and I hope for the best with that. Got an easy clue scroll drop. Let's see what we got here. Remington, nope. I'm gonna try to lock the guys I'm fighting behind doors so that if they kill me, I can keep track of which one I was working on. Give that a try. All right, I got my first level 22 ham guard from full health, so we're gonna see how possible this is. If it wrecks me before I get a chance to kill it from full health, I will ignore the 22s, but I can definitely kill all the 18s now. They're not that big of a deal. All right, that was my first level 22, and it went okay. Actually, can I cook this chicken like right here? Because that would be fantastic. Oh, I can burn this chicken right here, apparently. Oops. All right, so I'm gonna try to do all the 22s then. It's gonna be rough. They're still very hard, but I will give it my best. The problem is that they can hit me for 3, so they can burn through my health pretty fast if they get a bunch of hits in a row. I have been trying to open this trapdoor for like a minute. You can see I have a -6 thieving. It looks like the timer pauses while I'm picking this lock, maybe? I don't know, I don't see it tick down. Okay, I made it down eventually. Let's go loot my grave real quick.
My first Evil Bob random, which is nice. I got a little bit worried because I was fighting a level 22 Hamguard. Thought it might kill me. Oh, this is the bad Evil Bob random. Dang it. It's actually been so long since I did this random event on my main account. I don't remember what you get from this. I don't know if it's like a costume or something. All right, it's the end of the Prison Pete event. Have a present. Oh, that's actually interesting. Toad flax, okay. I looked it up. It looks like rubies, diamonds, chaos runes, law runes, toad flax, snapdragons, mithril arrow tips, and kebabs. That's actually not too bad. Looks like you commonly get 500 coins, which is, I mean, normally who would care, but that would be huge for me. I'm gonna hope for a coins drop next time that happens. I've died many times, but this is my last level 22 Hamguard to kill here. Last one I killed, I came down here with like 9 hit points and managed to just hit it for 5 a bunch of times and not take any damage. So this got so much easier this time. I'm hoping soon I'll just be able to do it. I thought about cooking all of my rat meat. I have like 20 rat meat in the bank. God, the guard has 2 health left. It's painful. It's fine. I'm gonna run right back down there. Almost done with this chunk. All right, I'm back. This thing's almost dead. Hooray! That's the last one. I mean, another steel axe. Just neat. I could probably sell that for some money. Okay, yeah, that's 22 Hamguards, and for my task list, there are 22 Hamguards, so it looks like I tracked them properly. I didn't highlight that guy. I'll highlight him now since you just respawned. And just so you can see, look at all the beautiful red Hamguard corpses in here. It's nice that this shows me the chunks for underground areas. I might try to start tracking these separately and like call them 2.5 or 1.5 for the Lumbridge Cellar or 3.5 for the Lumbridge Swamp Cave. Just because sometimes it's hard for me to keep track of like where are the Hamguards or where are the, you know, basement spiders. So I might update my gold tracker to account for that in a second. But I'm going to head up to the top of the Lumbridge Castle so we can review our bank, and now I can start doing some sanity checks on current session kills so we can confirm that everything's kosher and I did in fact kill all the things I was supposed to kill. All right, here we are at the bank at the end of the session. Let's kind of review. Got some opals, got some jades, got a needle, some interesting ores down here. Starting to build a stack of logs, 357 bones. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to an altar where I can use those. I guess if prayer matters, I'll burn them manually, but right now I don't particularly care about prayer right now. Let's review the task list. Everything's done except for the 4 U's, and obviously we can't get into the ham storeroom. Everything's done except for the coal, mithril, and adamantite, and we can't do the swamp cave until we get a light source. Everything's done except for the willows, the U, and we can't get into the cow pen. I guess technically, I think Limpwork did this, just hop worlds until cows appear out of the pen, but in my case, I'd rather just get into the pen by unlocking a relevant chunk. Here's the loot logger from today. Go ahead and expand everything again. See our Hamguards, we got opals and jades, so those are kind of interesting. The seeds are probably the most exciting thing we got there. I got a copper ore from a man, which was cool. And here's what I was talking about doing a sanity check. So we've killed 76 goblins. If I look at my task list, there's 22 goblins in the ham hideout, 53 in Lumbridge Castle. So 53 plus 22 is 75. I have 76, and the extra goblin's probably just one that spawns in a different chunk but is able to walk over the threshold there. And here's the lifetime loot tab if you're interested in that. 206 goblins killed so far, which actually sounds about right. Same sanity check, right? The first day we would have killed like 50 and some change. The second day with chunk 1 and chunk 2 we would have killed 75, and then day 3 we've killed 75 again. So 75 plus 75 is 50, plus 50 is 200. But yeah, this is all looking great. We have the same number of bones from men as we have coin pouches, the same number of coin pouches from women as we have bones, and so on. This seems right, having 30 oak logs in the bank, because there are 8 oak logs in the ham hideout and 7 oak logs in Lumbridge Castle, and I didn't get a high enough woodcutting level to start cutting oaks until I unlocked the ham hideout. So day 2 I was able to do 8 plus 7 equals 15. Day 3 there are no oaks in the third chunk, so I was able to do 8 plus 7 equals 15, and I have 30 logs. So I'm not going to do this like
confirming that everything is kosher every episode, but it's, you know, it's nice that it's there. If you want to see it, I'll try to scroll through this task list every time if you wanted to validate that I'm not full of shit. Oh, I'm forgetting the most important part. We got to roll a new chunk. Let me pull up a chunk roller. All right, here's our chunk roller. I think the roller was technically including the Wizard's Tower as a legal chunk, but it's impossible for me to get over there without being able to go through 5, so I manually deselected it. Recapping, before I was saying I wanted 2 would be my dream chunk, but I think I actually want 1 now. There's not anything in 1 directly that I would like, but I would love to get Al-Kharid because the Scimitar shop and the armor shop, I'm not going to have the money to afford it, but getting off of this Mithril Battle Axe and switching to a Scimitar would be amazing. So let's pray for a 1 here. No, we got the cow one, I guess, now that it's not my goal anymore. But that's cool. We can go get cows, we can get meat. We might actually be able to start having food because there's a good number of chickens in that pen up there. I think that's more immediately impactful than, you know, getting into Al-Kharid. So I'm very happy about that. I'm going to start trying to bank all of the beef and all of the chicken meat, cook as much of it as we can so we can start getting our cooking level up. And now this is going to make some content that requires healing a little bit more tolerable. That's the actual end of the episode. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. Next episode, we'll go over here. I'm going to try to start optimizing a little bit better about when I have gear on me. We'll try to do combat first and then start working on chopping trees with no equipment so that we don't have as much of a weight problem. This is still a ton of fun for me. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.